This episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. This is created by Ryan Murphy, who you know created American Horror Story, Nip Tuck, Glee. This coming from the mind of Ryan Murphy is absolutely crazy. Not only that, Evan Peters, who you know from American Horror Story and other countless amazing acting roles, plays Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, this is not your normal limited series. It's a 10-episode series, and the longest episode is an hour and 4 minutes long. The shortest, I want to say, is about 44 to 40 minutes long, and this is an interesting, unsettling, unnerving, uncomfortable show. If you're not into stuff like this, don't watch it. Don't watch it. This tells the story and follows the murders of the infamous serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. But the aspect of this storytelling is from the victim's point of view. The very first episode is very interesting. How everything is done, the camera work, the acting, the writing. Very unique way of setting things up, very unique way of setting the story. It's very different than what you see from a normal serial killer show, for that matter. Evan Peters gives a great performance in this, and it's scary at times. And it's worrying because I love what he does, but as a fan of his, I worry about the roles he picks, the mind, and the method acting that he goes into. The aspect of how things were done was great. Not only that, Richard Jenkins is the father, plays Jeffrey Dahmer's father, and he also gives a great performance. Niecy Nash is Dahmer's neighbor, Glenda Cleveland, and it's really great to see her in a show like this. The thing is that you see all these big name actors in this, and you're wondering, wow, they actually agreed to do this. The mind of Ryan Murphy is absolutely out there. I mean, we know he has a thing and he likes the aspect of serial killers. He used Richard Ramirez in American Horror Story, Hotel, and then 1984. Hotel, he just introduced him, but in 1984, he kind of romanticized the character, which was a little creepy at times, but then in the end, we understood the story of what, it was Richard Ramirez. Now, in this show, we get the aspect of the homosexuality that Jeffrey Dahmer is going through, and where he doesn't tell anyone that he is a homosexual, especially during the 1980s when there was, it wasn't spoken about. You see his childhood life, what could have caused him to be like this, the effects of what the father was going through, and the mother arguing all the time, the mother on pills. It's interesting because he wasn't bullied as much. People just found him weird and strange. And like, how much truth is this where, we see the parts in the episodes where the father is showing him how to dissect things, cut certain things in certain ways, using certain things, how to use a drill to like animal instincts and wise. It's very different. Evan Peters is very low key. He got the voice down perfectly. But I do want to say critics and fans are torn between this because it's a show about a serial killer. Yes, we understand that. The other aspect is it's great acting by Evan Peters. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a few awards for this. And yes, it's re-traumatizing for the victims' families. I understand that. But it's the show aspect to it. Like I said, if you don't want to watch this limited series about a serial killer, then don't watch it. I mean, there are people that I know who are not going to watch it because they're not into that sort of thing. Neither am I, but the way the trailer presented itself, it was a different take on how you see things done. Yes, the Dahmer story's been done over and over again. I mean, okay, we don't really have stories about Ed Gein, John Wayne Gacy. Do we want those? No, but if it's fictionalized for Hollywood purposes, they're going to make it. And it's different how everything was done in this. And like I said, 45 to 63 minutes of an episode. It's a slow, slow burn. The writing is what makes it, and the aspect of seeing how he does certain things. There's a scene in the very first episode where he opens a fridge to grab a beer, and you see a severed head on the bottom of the shelf. If you look around somewhere else, you'll miss it very quickly. But if you rewind it, you'll notice it. It's just a quick glimpse and a hint. The ammonia, the barrel in his bedroom, the stench, and the way his apartment was set up, the way his mannerisms are. It's just unnerving, And it's like as you're watching it, you can't help but think what was actually going through his mind. And it's just absolutely, literally insane to think. And is it a good show? Yes, it is. Writing wise, acting wise. But for it being told through the victim's point of view, it's very different. We don't usually get the victim's point of view on everything that happened for a serial killer story. It's always the serial killer part of it, and it's always different. But with this, they took something and it was interesting. I don't like the title of it, how it was just Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Felt repetitive. They should have just called it Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Maybe they didn't just want to call it Monster because that Charlize Theron movie, Monster, was out where she won an Academy Award for that. I mean, who knows, They could have called this just Dahmer. That would have been it. Or. And there's very different iterations of the story of Jeffrey Dahmer and everything. And I do want to say that I did a reaction to the trailer for the official trailer for this show. I posted it on Instagram, and that was taken down for violating its community guidelines. If you see the picture that I posted, which I'll put up right here, right now, you can see it says official trailer reaction, the title of the show, and then the picture of Dahmer, and then myself looking shocked at a certain scene. There's no violence in it, there's no blood in it, but it was taken down by Facebook. Why do you think I said Facebook? It's because Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Facebook owns Instagram. It's absolutely insane and absurd. Just because of this one name, you can't say this name because you're politicizing it. You're it's part of a group or violence. You're like, I'm not supporting anything of this. This is absolutely insane and total bullshit in my eyes. This is a show. Okay, people are gonna watch it. It's gonna be number one on Netflix for a while, but then it'll drop its rank. People will talk about it and it'll fade away. That's it. There are documentaries about other aspects of serial killers that are still, being talked about today through documentaries, through first account eyewitnesses, people who have escaped, people who still live through that. It's very traumatizing to them, and I understand that. But this is a show, and like I said, if it's unsettling for you, if it's uncomfortable for you, if it's unnerving, which I feel like it is, it's just one of those shows where you're watching, it's like, okay, that was weird. What's going to happen now? And something happens. You're like, okay, I have to stop. I got through it very, very fast because I just wanted to watch it real quickly because I didn't expect certain things to happen that did happen. But like I said, I mean, let's remember the victims that were killed by this man, and we know how this man was killed in prison. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I'm not going to rate this show out of respect for the victims, and I mean, it's a good show based on writing and acting. I'm curious to see if this show gets nominated for awards. If it does, okay. But if it doesn't, then I won't be surprised at all. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this show. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like the aspect of how this show was portrayed? Do you think it was, like I said, unnerving, uncomfortable, and unsettling? Or do you think something different could have been done? And what other kind of serial killer shows do you think should be made that are like this? And let me know what rating you would give this show. Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next review video.